be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, O Lord.
On a certain Sabbath, Jesus went into the synagogue and taught. And there was a man there whose right hand was withered. The scribes and the Pharisees watched him closely to see if he would cure on the Sabbath, so that they might discover a reason to accuse him. But he realized their intentions and said to the man with the withered hand, "Come up and stand before us." And he rose and stood there. Then Jesus said to them, "I ask you, is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath rather than to do evil? To save life rather than to destroy it?" Looking around at them all, he then said to him, "Stretch out your hand." He did so, and his hand was restored. But they became enraged and discussed together what they might do to Jesus. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
I ask you, which is lawful on the Sabbath? To do good or to do evil? To save life or to destroy it? This question greatly disturbed the Pharisees and the scribes. They claimed to be experts in the law of God given to Moses. They wanted to be revered as religious teachers and the moral compass of the Jewish people. Apparently, the law of the Sabbath flowed from their mouth, but through a single question, Jesus unmasked their ignorance. As the Lord of the Sabbath, Jesus needed to correct the wrong mentality of these religious leaders who reduced the Sabbath to a mere compliance of the law. By healing the man whose right hand was withered on a Sabbath day, Jesus revealed in a definitive way the truth that encountering God in the temple or in the synagogue ought to lead one to mercy and compassion. Had the Pharisees and the scribes understood the law of the Sabbath, they would never have ignored the sick man, and they would never have condemned Jesus for doing an act of mercy. Brothers and sisters, Jesus challenges us to deepen our understanding of the law of the Sabbath. He wants us to be wary of the pitfall of legalism. As Christians, we are called to do something good for others. We are entrusted with the mission to save lives, not to destroy lives. When our Sunday worship does not empower us to help the people around us, then we clearly miss the point, like the Pharisees and the scribes. If our prayer and sacramental celebrations are not concretized in charity, then liturgy becomes a mere religious rite without meaning. Kinumdong kog usa ka parokyana nga gibantog to sa iyang mga silingan nga inspiring kayo og kinabuhi, maayo nga tao. Hinimbahon kay to siya di lang sa Domingo, sa adlaw nga Domingo, kundi even sa other kanang mga weekdays. Tungod kay nagito siya devotion sa inahan sa kanunay panabang og ni Señor Santo Niño. Ang di malimtan sa mga tao nga ighuman niya og simba, aduna gito siya himuon nga buhat sa kaluoy, bisag unsa kagamay. Umutoy bunga sa iyang encounter sa Ginoo. Ug mo ni ang kulang nga nakita nato sa mga Pariseyo ug mga magtutudlo sa balaod. And this will always be a challenge for us. Whenever we encounter the Lord in the sacraments and in our prayer, it will always be a challenge for us to transmit this blessing to others, that our lives may become a blessing to others, that we can inspire other people because the gospel values are no longer ideas, for they are concrete in our words and in our actions. And that is the meaning of worshiping God. We become His instruments in our dealings with other people. In the apostolic exhortation entitled Gaudete et Exsultate, Pope Francis denounced a subtle enemy of holiness, which he calls contemporary Gnosticism. According to our Holy Father, modern Gnostics judge others based on their ability to understand the complexity of certain doctrines. They think of the intellect as separate from the flesh, and thus become incapable of touching Christ's suffering flesh in others. Sa ito pa, importante di kayo nga ma-encounter nato si Jesus sa ato mga igsuon, ilabi na katong mga nanginahanglan. That's another sign of maturity in faith. As we continue to offer this Holy Mass, we ask ourselves, are we still narrow-minded in our understanding of the law of God? Do we realize that true worship is measured by charity? Going back to the gospel narrative, would I have cared about the sick person if I had been there that day?